Hello and welcome, Richard McCann here once again in the second of a series of video tutorials in which I'm going to look at aspects of my presentations and demonstrate how I believe they become more engaging over the years. I've accumulated my wealth of knowledge by getting out there, treading the boards, by watching other speakers, going on speaker boot camps, having speaker coaching, reading all the books, doing everything possible to grow as a speaker. And in fact, that's why you're tuning in right now. Now, one of the things that I've picked up over the years, and it was demonstrated to me fantastically about 12 months ago when we had a speaker, Gervais Finn, guest speaker at the Professional Speaking Association, North Eastern region. Now he's an author, he's an ex-school inspector and now a fantastically hilarious speaker. What he did in our session, he actually included aspects of conversations that he'd had prior to him getting on stage. So of course he arrived early, which as speakers we must do wherever possible, so we can actually go out there, we can speak to the audience, one, to get us to feel more comfortable, but also to look for little snippets of conversations that we might want to thread into our conversation, into our presentations. Now Gervais did it fantastically 2 or 3 times within his presentation with 2 or 3 different conversations that he'd had. And it's now what I do wherever possible. In the first clip you heard me speaking at the Clean Easy conference, and that's the presentation I'm going to use again right now. What I actually did was I strategically, while people were arriving at the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham, I strategically wandered around in amongst the audience as they were arriving, while they were checking in, they were doing whatever they need to do, and I was looking for people who I might want to include in the presentation. And what you're going to see in this next clip is me bringing in those people, naming them, and I hope it doesn't sound too contrived, but I was actually going out there looking for conversations so that I could bring them in. And anyway, let's just run the VT and you'll see exactly what I mean, and then I'll make a few comments after we've seen that. So, run VT.
Got on stage age 13, won that competition, and I'm stood in front of 3,000 people at NIA in Birmingham right now. It's not a coincidence. Some of the things that you have to do in your line of work take a bit of courage. What was it, Keith and Anne who spoke? They only got signed up yesterday and they're here today. I don't know where you are right now. Oh, they're down here somewhere. They've just first day of the business and they're down here. Brilliant. It's going to take some courage for them to offer the opportunity to people around them who they know, people that they come across in their cafe, the local cafe. Hey, I was in my local cafe, what was it, about 6 weeks ago, and I'm sat there and this young man walks in, sat in front of me, head down. I thought, oh, he looks depressed. I like to talk to people. That's why I was mingling with you all earlier. I like to talk to people. I got talking to this guy. I said, are you all right anyway? I said, what do you do? He said, I'm a gardener. It's the winter months. There's no money to be earned. I said, have you heard of Clean Easy? I did. There he is. I said, have you heard of Clean Easy? He said, do you know what? Funnily enough, I have.
Okay, did you see what I did there? I'd included the names of people I'd spoke to in the audience, but I'd actually looked for those people in the audience prior to the event, and I'd looked for stories of people. We've got to look for stories where I can include their stories into the point that I'm going to be making. In that presentation there, I was talking about courage, and I was kind of making it relevant by talking about the courage that those individuals who are new to the organisation were going to need in the work that they did. Obviously, there's that extra bonus story there where we had me 6 weeks prior to the event. I'd met somebody in a cafe and I'd incorporated meeting that person and suggesting that they considered working for the particular organisation I was speaking to, and included that story and a photograph of that individual in my presentation too. That is really making the presentation bespoke to that client. It doesn't take a lot of work looking for stories and weaving them into our presentation. Okay, that was lesson 2. So lesson 1 was having a dramatic opening. Lesson 2 was involving stories from our audience and encompassing that into our presentation. Next up, a bit of humour. If you want to find out more about me, you can on my website, either richardmccann.co.uk or icanspeak.co.uk. Bye for now.